Om Sai Ram. Sripada Srivallabha Charithamrutham, Chapter 15, Part 2. Difference between Divine Incarnations and Sadhaks. After hearing the words of Bangarappa, some doubts crept in my mind. To clear them, I questioned, Sir, is the evolutionary process limited only to the ordinary mortals, or will it be applied to divine incarnations as well? Then Bangarappa said, Incarnations come according to the need of the time. If a man becomes God, he is called satguru. If God comes as man, he is called as an incarnation. A fish can swim and move quickly in water. A tortoise can move speedily both in earth and in water. A boar, which means rhinoceros, can run quickly on the ground. The Narasimha incarnation is with the countenance of a lion, the supreme among the animals, and the rest of the body in form of a man. The Vamana incarnation, with the nature of begging, came essentially with the attributes of tamas. The incarnation of Parashurama came with the main attribute of rajas. The incarnation of Sri Rama took place chiefly with the attribute of sattva. The incarnation of Sri Krishna came principally as an attributeless one, transcending all the three qualities. The incarnation of Buddha is chiefly one of karma. The incarnation of Sripada Srivallabha is very distinct incarnation of the aeon. It is in the excellent and extraordinarily unique incarnation, containing in itself the unity in diversity, diversity in unity of the entire creation. There are no yogic traditions, religious or ethical regulations in the entire creation which do not owe the origin to Sripada. The saturate of Sripada cannot be perceived by intellects, however great they might be. He is his own equal one. All theories and traditions find synthesis in him. He is the first point and the last point of the entire creation. He is the one who supervises, who proposes, and who set in motion all the affairs of the world which are pulsating in nature. This is a divine secret. In what way can I describe his position, which is not comprehended even by the seven spheres? Mr. Shankar Bhatt, you are fortunate. Those who got his precious grace are blessed. Others are waste. Thus concluded Bangarappa. Explanation of the result of good deeds and bad deeds. I questioned, Sir, I have a doubt. If he is the inspirer of all action, why some are born as good people and why some are born as bad people? For that, Bangarappa laughed loudly. You asked a good question. Creation is made with the help of the pairs of opposite. If there is no fear of death, even the mother would not love her child. In the Vedas, the word Purusha was used to mean Atma, but not to suggest the superiority of males. There is as much difference between human dharma and a divine dharmas as there is a difference between human dharma and an animal dharma. If there are no pairs of opposites, then there is no possibility of development or evolution. If it is said the God is omnipotent, it doesn't mean that only good powers are in him. Fraud, dissent, and violence, which you witness in the world, are a part of his omnipresence. Because of sorrow, we yearn happiness. Without the knowledge of misery, the experience of comfort is not known. These millions and millions of stars seen by us are formed in an organized manner. When they collide with each other, some more stars are formed. When this happened many a time, they formed into a well-organized group of stars that we see now. The planets in our solar system rotate around the Sun in a well-established orbit. Dhruva is the pivot of the Sun. In this way, the creation runs with mutual attraction and repulsion. The person who is attached towards God becomes a theist and performs good deeds. The person who has a repulsion from the God becomes an atheist and does bad deeds. He is the support for both theist and atheist. He is the prop for those who perform good deeds and the bad deeds. Nothing is steady in this play of creation. Those whom you regard as good people today did bad acts in some birth. That is why they cannot avoid sorrow, even though they are virtuous people in this life. It is nothing but the result of merits of good deeds done in the previous life that enable bad people to enjoy comfort in this life. Either the sin or the merit does not yield results immediately, but a severe sin or a great merit will give results quickly. Good books relate the way in which man should conduct himself to be happy. He is given limited liberty to do a good thing or a bad thing. When unrighteous over him and the religious people are in the state of happiness, God incarnates with his Maya. It is a wonderful thing that God, who has no birth, takes to the incarnation of a human being and lives amidst us, breaking the bubble of pride of king. The rulers of Pitikapuram used to move incarnato at times and elect the living conditions of the people. As the king had a desire to see Sripada Srivallabha, he immediately sent the soldiers to the house of Appalaraja Sharma with an order. The gist of the order was that Appalaraja Sharma and Bappanaraya should bring Sripada to the presence of the king in his court. Sripada rejected this insulting invitation. Appalaraja Sharma was also advised to step into the court of the king. A great personage like Sri Bappanaraya would not go anywhere unless dictated by conscience. Sri Bappanaraya asked Sripada, "My dear, my precious gold, do you have any objections to go to the court of the king?" Sripada replied, "Granddad, the king has no devotion. Seeing me is not so easy." Sripada told the soldiers, "If your king wants to see me, he can personally come here. He is the ruler merely of this estate. I am the king of all kings and emperor for the entire creation. I am the lord of all worlds. I should not be approached with empty hands. A tribute must also be brought. If the king regards me as his guru, he should bring Guru Dakshina." Sripada is skillful in creating problems. In the same way, he also good in solving problems. Sri Bappanaraya, Appalaraja Sharma and Pindya Venkatapasesti were thinking about the consequence if the king were to be angry. On hearing the news from the soldiers, the king violently shook with rage. The king shouted, "I will make those weak Brahmins realize what will happen to their lives if they think about it. They do not know how powerful I am." The moment he shouted like this, all his strength departed from his body and became weakening. He fainted with weakness. The servants attended to him, but he remained weak. In the meanwhile, an ugly, deformed female appeared in his mental vision. She roared, "I am Shakti. I am jumping into you," and entered forcibly into him. He could not withstand the onslaught of that Shakti. He felt as if his bones were being powdered. He cried in a low voice, "Go away at once from me." The king underwent a hellish agony when the Shakti was going out. In this way, Shakti was entering and exiting from the body of the king. He was undergoing hellish agony through these two operations. Information was sent through the soldiers to the royal priest Kota Sundara Rama Sharma. He performed worship to the self-manifested Datta and gave holy water. After the king applied Datta Vibhuti on his forehead, the moments of Shakti stopped. Then Sharma said, "King, have you seen our worship gives good results? You wished for a darshan of Sripada." that is useless for you. There is Kalagni Shamala Datta idol in their house. On account of worshipping that idol, Sunray, small powers were earned by Appalaraja Sharma and Bappanaraya. Earned some powers, practice of mantras also. Then Pinda Venkatappa Shresti is a Vaishya. He can purchase a good article cheaply by arguing it as counterfeit one. He can also sell the counterfeit article by making us believe it is a genuine one. With frictious fabrications, they are investing incredible powers to Sripada and doing his bhajan. Even though Narasimha Varma is nobly Kshatriya, he became a fool and uprising Sripada as an incarnation of Datta. You need not worry. Our practice of worship is great. How dare they refuse to your orders? The king can bring Sripada here forcibly through correction. The king, who heard these words, said feebly, "What shall I gain if I bring him here forcibly? Moreover, I would only get a bad name. I have a doubt that Sripada knows black magic. Sripada attacked me with the Shakti, or else why would the Shakti move in and out of my body? You have identified a solution to overcome this. You are our family priest. You always cherish our welfare." Then Shama said, "King, the Datta Puran has to be read devotedly by Brahmins. Worship has to be arranged for the self-existing Datta. Feasts are to be arranged to the Brahmins and they should be given generous monetary gifts. Food should be donated to all castes. If it is done like this, Datta will be pleased. Sripada would be a checkmate. The trouble from evil spirits would be removed." The king made necessary arrangements as per the request of the royal priest. There were many forests in the Pitikapuram region. Menace of thief was also great in Pitikapuram. Thief became rampant from the day of commencement of Parayan of Datta Puran. The king failed to stop them. There was an increase in the alarming dreams that the king was getting, and as if the remedy was worse than the disease, troubles increased. The king was seeing his ancestors in the dream. They appeared with weak and lean bodies and were like hungry beggars coming for food pitilily. They questioned, "Why are you not offering food during the annual ceremony for us? Are we to remain in the body of spirits? Can't we have righteous positions?" The king said that he was performing obedience ceremonies to them as specified in the scriptures. The ancestors said to the king, "You are doing all those ceremonies, however, they are not reaching us." Brahmins grew strong and satisfied in the name of obvious ceremonies. When a Brahmin practices rituals strictly and conducts the ceremony rites with mantras, and when a person who performs the ceremony does it with care and diligence, then only it gives a noble position to the main. The king was not having any sleep during night. With the cries of his ancestors, the condition continued even when he closed his eyes or opened them. To compound his trouble, the marriageable daughter of the king was seized by ghost. With dishealing hair, she laughed frightfully and was throwing away all the articles from his house. When they were sitting for meals, plenty of vermin were found in the food. Clothes were suddenly catching fire. Whenever the king was coming to the place where donation of food is being conducted, he was seeing diseased men and women of his dynasty with thin bodies and ghostly attires. The condition of the king was very pity. The circumstances in the house of Sundara Rama Sharma, the royal priest, were also being worse. His wife, who was calm till then, was suddenly hitting his head with cooking utensils. His son was tying him with a rope to a pillar. His daughter was spitting out on him and giving blows on his face with her shoes. When Sharma requested for food, they were serving him with dry grass. If he was not eating it, they would threaten him to burn him with red hot iron rods. The Brahmin employed by Sharma, however, continued the Parayan of Datta Purana. After they finished the meals, on completion of Parayan for the day, ghost spirits were moving freely in their houses and terrorizing the inmates. Some women were laughing horribly and proclaiming, "The ancestor of the king for whom you are a priest," without regarding other women as their mothers, raped many women. We are none other than those women. We are those victims. They committed heinous crimes in not allowing us to live comfortably with our husbands. We want to take revenge on the family of the king. We will not get a noble status when you merely give us offerings. You receive large amounts of money from the king. You possess that tainted money. Therefore, we want to harass your families. The Brahmins who were conducting Parayan, Sundarama Sharma and the king were all very frightened with the events. All of these were remarking with an anguish and scarism. We heard auspicious results are achieved by devoted reading of Datta Puran. But what is this abnormality? Our reading of Puran pleased Shankara, and now he is dancing fiercely along with his hordes of ghosts and spirits and devils. Or our reading of the Puran pleased Vishnu while denying meals to us. He is granting grace to those beggars who sought for food. Our reading of this Puran pleased Brahma, and he created those who were harassing us with obscene and insulting words. Oh, if by reading Datta Puran, Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva are also delighted that they are torturing us by words without allowing us to die with the nature Vishnu and exhibiting strange dancing to please the devil, spirits and the ghosts, then such a devotion of Lord Datta is not required for us for many births. Man is a laborer in the creation. Sripada is the one who gives wages. Then the Brahmins, Sundarama Sharma and the king surrendered to Sripada and sought his refuge. Every human being in this creation is a laborer. I am the owner. If I am pleased, I will give more wages than those that are due to you. If I am displeased, I will reduce your wage to account of your bad deeds and give you the balance. I am the self-manifested Datta in the temple. I am the one in form of Kalagni Shamala Datta. I came in the form of Sripada Srivallabha with a compassion for living beings. How can you derive any results if you worship my face with camphor lights and drive nails in my feet? Who do you think my parents are? Vishnu Datta and his wife mentioned in the Datta Puran are born in this Kali Yuga as my parents, Appala Raja Sharma and Sumati Maharani. Sri Bappa Naraya was born as Labha, son of Sri Vigneshwara, in one age. In the other age, Labha Maharishi, and later as Bhaskaracharya in Gritashila town. His lineage is reverted by those born in the Vaishya caste. It is a part of the divine plan that I was born on Ganesh Chaturthi. The bound of indebtedness with Sri Pinda Venkatappaya Shesti from the time of incarnation as Vasavi Kanyaka Parameshwari, and the bond of indebtedness with Narasimha Varma in form of Lord Narasimha in Simhashala Kshetra are everlasting. As they are really pious, they have the connection with me again in this incarnation. The love and affection will bind me in every birth. When I incarnate, their love and affection will bind me in every birth. When I incarnate as Narasimha Saraswati, I will be born with an exact resemblance of my marital grandfather Sri Bappa Naraya. Just as he redeems ghost and spirit by sprinkling water from his copper pot, I will drive away ghosts and spirits troubling my devotees who visit my Gandharva Nagar. During incarnation of Narasimha Saraswati, I will grant noble position to those ghosts and spirits. One should not be arrogant simply because he is wealthy. The wealth with you should be pure, otherwise you will have sorrows. If you are proud that you are holy, you are not at all holy. I have all your accounts with me. I cancel the result of your sinful deeds out of compassion. If you are discouraged that you are a sinner, and if you seek my refuge and call me with love, Sripada Srivallabha I will burn all your sins and make you virtuous. Since you consider truth as untruth and untruth as truth, you meet with all the difficulties. You have abused Sripada Srivallabha, and because of that you are entangled in the strange and peculiar problems. Even though conducted devoted reading of Datta Puran, it has not given you any relief because you abused Sripada. Datta himself has come as Sripada Srivallabha. This is the truth. Thus concluded Bangarappa. We will continue from here in the next episode. Digambara Digambara Sripada Srivallabha Datta Digambara Sripada Rajam Sharanam Prabhathe. Om Sai Ram.